We are right now in Buenos Aires. That's right. We flew all the way from Europe to Argentina, and Nomad Gossip Magazine has been invited by our organization to visit Buenos Aires and Nomads VA, so we can see with our own eyes if the rumors are true. And the rumors are that Buenos Aires is a great location for digital nomads. And we are right now in the coworking space that's called La Maquinita. They have 8 locations across the city. And we have invited a couple of people who chose Buenos Aires as their main base while they keep their nomad life while flying out and in, because they are in love with Buenos Aires. We've been here a couple of days so far. It's a massive city. It has many things to offer for digital nomads, and I'm very excited to hear what they can tell us from their nomad perspective. So, let's go.
Yeah, I just feel like it has an energy here that's like, in Spanish, único. It's like so unique, so special.
It's how friendly and warm the people are. So you're walking around the street, you see everybody kissing each other on the cheek, they're hugging, they're talking to each other, touching. It's a very affectionate culture.
As a foreigner, as a tourist, we can actually both help the Argentinian economy by bringing in US dollars, which is something that they're very lacking in their reserves, but also get a benefit for it by having a higher exchange rate.
Saying goodbye to nomads, it's never really goodbye, I found. It's more see you later, because I have ran into the same people over and over again, all over the world.
Visit Buenos Aires is an agency created for promoting the different segments of tourism in the city. It's an agency that is financed by the city local tax that foreigners have to pay per night when they are in Buenos Aires. It's like $1. And with this money, we finance the actions in a more sustainable way.
So my name is Kristin Vierra. I'm from California, but currently living in Buenos Aires. And I am a remote career and lifestyle coach.
Every time when you come to a new place, you always have this first feel. Either it's warm, busy, calm, chill, interesting, exciting. Like, what do you feel about Buenos Aires?
Yeah, I just feel like it has an energy here that's like, in Spanish, único. It's like so unique, so special. And it's been such a special place for me. So I feel that I feel just vibrancy, like the energy of the city. It's a city, like they say, that never sleeps, like New York. So there's always things happening, and there's so much culture, and it's beautiful. So I originally moved here to live here full time, and I did for 2 years. So I really immersed into the expat scene. Connecting with locals was a huge goal I had moving here, was immersion, learning the language, connecting to the culture, and that's what drew me here. And then I went fully remote and took this throughout South America, over to Europe, and always coming back here as kind of a base. So it's been like the home base for me, and home because it was my first abroad experience. So given that, I was an expat and then became a nomad, and I also really think there's so much value in connecting to local culture and to learning from local culture and to becoming a part of local culture. So that inspired the community I have now and that I'm building, which is to connect foreigners and locals. Which foreigners, you could be an expat, you can be a nomad. These are all labels. Ultimately, it's to create a bridge between all of these groups and to allow them to connect at a deeper level.
What is the name of the community?
It's called BA Colectivo, like Buenos Aires Collective. Another huge part of this that I'm super passionate about is I feel really connected to this culture, and it feels like I feel it deep in my heart. And there's a lot of privilege foreigners come here with. And sometimes I felt that there wasn't awareness around kind of the local challenges and perspective of locals. So part of my goal with these events is to open up that awareness so that foreigners traveling here can be more conscious about how they speak about things, not fully knowing, the local economy or what locals have navigated for years, right? So that was another huge goal or huge challenge I saw to help kind of this community to support and to build out like cultural awareness is the thing.
What first 3 things would you recommend to do, or how to find your community when they just arrive? What 3 things would you be recommendations?
Okay, so finding community, I would say join Facebook groups, join WhatsApp groups, and join Meetup. Because in all of those 3 places, you'll find events to join. Meetup is growing here, so Meetup is a great place to find events to connect with people. Facebook groups were, when I moved as an expat here, the main resource for finding housing, questions, things like that. But now WhatsApp groups have exploded, and there's so many WhatsApp groups here.
How to find them?
So that is a challenge, which is, I would say, the BA Nomads group. If you go to their Instagram page, they have links there.
Okay.
And maybe on Facebook there's links, but the WhatsApp groups is connecting with people and getting invited also.
What is your favorite experience in Buenos Aires as an expat/nomad?
This is so
Maximum 2. Choose 2.
Okay, dance. I'm super passionate about dance. I've been learning bachata, salsa, and zouk here. And I think the dance community is a beautiful way to connect to the culture. There's also tango. I prefer the other dances, but dance is a great way to find community, and there's no language needed. It's the body. And then I would just say the cafe scene, done. I love the cafe scene here. I love that they support remote workers. They're open to remote workers being there. I say use your cafe etiquette and be respectful, but there's so many beautiful cafes here.
To add, Buenos Aires has so many cafes, restaurants, places. It's impossible to list them all, because you can maximum do the rating of the block, because there are that many of them and all of them are so amazing and great. This is such a vibrant place with going out and eating out and working out. So we'll list them out under this video.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hello, welcome to, that's actually welcome me to Buenos Aires. How long are you in Buenos Aires?
I have been here for almost 7 years now.
What?
Yeah.
7 years, that's a lot.
It is. I never imagined I would stay this long, but here we are.
Okay, let's come back to classic. What's your name, where are you from, and what do you do?
My name is Sarah. I am originally from Denver, Colorado, and I do a lot of things. Part of what I do is, as a digital nomad, I have a platform that inspires and empowers other people to take their remote job to Buenos Aires. And then I also do some fun side projects in marketing and, you know, live up my best life in Buenos Aires.
How would you describe the vibe of the city?
Oh my goodness, where to start? I think for me, Buenos Aires has this contagious energy that sucks you in. And I think this is why so many people come here and they fall in love and they never leave. Because on one hand, it's how friendly and warm the people are. So you're walking around the street, you see everybody kissing each other on the cheek, they're hugging, you know, they're talking to each other, touching. It's a very affectionate culture, which is really beautiful to see. People are very friendly. You have the passion of the people. So you'll be in, you know, a random bar and a football or a soccer game comes on and everyone starts cheering and chanting together, you know, yelling. No one's afraid to hold back their emotions. And for me too, just being in Buenos Aires symbolizes a little bit of like freedom. I feel very, when I'm here, like I can just kind of be the person that I want to be. It's a very non-judgmental society. I feel like I kind of step back into who I want to be at this point in my life, and just exploring the city and being on my own is a really freeing experience.
Can you say that Buenos Aires looks a little bit like New York?
It's interesting. I was just in New York like 3 weeks ago with my Argentine partner, and I think there are similar elements. Obviously, both are very large cities. There's a lot to do, a lot of culture, theater, food. But New York for me was Buenos Aires times 50. It was so many more people, just loud, dirtier. If I had to choose between the two cities, I would choose Buenos Aires just because it is a massive city, but it feels cleaner. There are parks, there are green areas, we're on a river, so you can go take mate and sit in the park all day and it's quiet, you can hear the birds. So for me, it blends the best of both worlds in that sense.
City is quite big. What is the best way to get around here?
I walk everywhere. I think for me, Buenos Aires is such a walkable city purely because, the best neighborhoods being around Palermo, Recoleta, Núñez, they're all very close to each other relatively. So I say I like to walk a lot. I'll walk like an hour to get somewhere. It doesn't faze me. But the beautiful thing too is there's an amazing public transportation system here. There's a subte, a subway, a really robust bus system. There's a train system. So if you don't want to walk everywhere, you can take public transportation. It's very easy. And then also taxis, Ubers or Cabify, which is like the local Uber. They go everywhere and they're also super affordable compared to other countries.
If I would be your friend and I would come here and I'd say, where should I go? What should I see? And I have only weekends.
Okay.
You?
All right, so I would say one thing is the market in San Telmo on Sundays is a really fun way to buy souvenirs. You see tango on the street, you kind of hear local music. So it's a very fun, cultural, a little bit touristy, but very exciting, vibrant experience. I would say that's huge. Going for dinner at, it's kind of a merienda, this place called Anchoita Cava. They have wines and local cheeses, and it's very much a local hangout spot. So there you're gonna start to get the energy of the city. Definitely Teatro Colón. If it's possible, try and get out boating on the river because that it's really beautiful to see the views of the city from the water. And then walking around the downtown area. So seeing Casa Rosada, Plaza de Mayo, and being able to appreciate, that historical part of the city and learning more about the government. And you're also going to see a lot of the energy of the city when you're downtown. It's very busy, there's very beautiful buildings. And from there, you can also walk to Puerto Madero, which is more kind of the modern part of the city. You're gonna be by the water, you're gonna see kind of a different style of person that lives in Buenos Aires, but it's good to have that paradox of all the different things you can find here.
I was talking with the Cordoba organization that actually working hard on bringing digital nomads to Cordoba. Yeah. You've been there. Can you tell me more about that place, if it's actually can be potential place for digital nomads?
I loved it. Again, being from Denver, it reminded me so much of home. It's kind of Cordoba itself, the city, is a really fun city with a big university that's next to the mountains. So you kind of have the best of both worlds with the cultural element of the students, and then you can get into the mountains and go hiking. We also visited La Cumbrecita, which I highly recommend for anyone that's in Argentina. Tiny, cute town with a lot of German influence. So, and it's all peatonal is what you would call it. So like a little walking town where you can no cars, go to little cafes, gift shops, and then hike during the day. So for me, Cordoba is a very underrated place that anyone who visits Argentina should take the time to go explore.
Is there anything else that I didn't ask you, but you would like to add?
Sure, yeah, I'll just say for me, Buenos Aires is one of my favorite places in the world because of the people. I think the culture here is so beautiful. Being from the States, I just instantly felt like I was welcomed here with open arms. Like Argentines were so effusive and warm and exciting people to be around. And I think that's part of what just continues to draw me to living here. And every time I go back to the States, I miss that, that little special thing that Argentina has. And that's why so many people come here and they fall in love.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah. Hi, Johny.
Hello, Nora.
We know each other for already 7 years. Me and Johny met for the first time 7 years ago on a nomad cruise where we were going from Malaga to Athens.
Yep.
We even have been living in the same hotel in Athens after that. And then after that, we met in Ukraine a couple of times because I left Ukraine and Johny moved into Ukraine.
We swapped.
Yes, he is living in my home country while I'm not a resident there anymore. Welcome, Johny. Good to see you again after such a long break.
Yeah, especially in the other side of the world.
Yes, exactly. Also, Johny is a person who launched one of the first conferences for digital nomads back in the days in Chiang Mai. Then later he did in different locations after Chiang Mai, and the last one supposed to be in Georgia, but it has been cancelled because of the COVID.
Yeah, so during COVID we had the Nomad Summit to Tbilisi scheduled, but we ended up refunding everybody. But maybe when this comes out, we'll have another conference coming up. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I would love to if this conference will go back to life because it was such a great concept and it has stopped for a couple of years. So who knows, maybe Johny will bring it back on track. Also, Johny is one of the most famous content creators among online entrepreneurs and digital nomads. So I'm sitting quite next to the star.
I'm just one of the old ones. Like in 2013, I was probably the first one to start talking about being a digital nomad, even before that term, just living in places like Chiang Mai and working online. You know, following what Tim Ferriss and the 4-Hour Workweek had written about many years ago from Argentina, actually. So we brought this back full circle.
Wow, and I know that you have a lot of different income streams when it comes to online businesses. And I remember that you've been quite big around drop shipping back in the days.
Yeah, I did that for 7 years. Did well over $1 million in revenue, and so in profit, definitely quite a bit less. But I was able to sell those stores and actually invest in property. I ended up buying 2 places in Ukraine, ironically. But those are just some of my businesses.
Let's talk about Buenos Aires. Is this your first time in Buenos Aires?
It's actually my first time on this continent. Yeah.
It's really hard to imagine because Johny has been traveling so much and has never been in this continent. So what do you think about Buenos Aires? What kind of vibe you're getting from this place?
It reminds me a little bit of the rest of the world, kind of in one. You know, culturally, it's not that different than a mix of Spain and Mexico. Architecturally, it looks very similar to Europe, you know, whether it's Paris or Berlin. But it's kind of cool that it's all kind of combined into one place with friendly people. But it's definitely its own unique culture and place.
I know that you are very good when it comes to financial parts and when it comes to credit cards, exchanges, and that you need to come to Argentina with cash. The first thing that Johny told me when we arrived to Buenos Aires is about that I supposed to come here with cash.
Actually, I told you before you came, so you had time to plan. But yeah, Argentina has a very unstable currency. If you ask anyone that lives here, that's kind of one of their hottest topics. And as a foreigner, as a tourist, we can actually both help the Argentinian economy by bringing in US dollars, which is something that they're very lacking in their reserves, but also get a benefit for it by having a higher exchange rate. You'll get a 20 to 25% bonus by just exchanging US dollars. The other option is actually to either use Western Union when you're here. That's something I would never say about any other country unless you got robbed and had no other choice. But Western Union gives you the dollar rate, just minus their fees. And the third option that makes it very easy is actually just to use a credit card. So you can't use something like Apple Pay. You can't use like your phone to tap and say, here you go, because most places don't take it. You have to bring a physical Visa or MasterCard, and as long as it's...
I actually paid a couple of times.
With Apple Pay?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I guess it does exist somewhere, but not everywhere. So do bring your physical card just in case. But as long as it's a card issued outside of Argentina, they will give you a rate that's close to the blue dollar rate. Not exactly, you still might lose a little bit, but it just makes it so much easier. And if you're paying for your hotel, just use your credit card, because then you actually don't need to pay local VAT. So you ended up saving a lot of money that way.
Club.
Oh.
I'm here with Nora. We met here in Buenos Aires actually a couple of days ago, because we came here by invitation by Nomads VA to explore Buenos Aires together. But the big difference between me and Nora is that Nora actually have been living in Buenos Aires and studying here before. How many years ago?
That was 8 years ago in 2016. Yeah.
So what changed since the last time you've been in Buenos Aires when you came back?
Yeah, I think I've definitely changed. I was 20 years old when I moved here, so I was much younger, and I think the city has changed a good amount as well, especially post-pandemic, as a lot of cities have. Like, I remember when I came here as a student in 2016, digital nomading wasn't really on anybody's radar. And like, just to give an example, cafe culture in Buenos Aires is a huge part of living here. Like, people go to cafes any hour of the day, really. But back in 2016, nobody's bringing their laptop to a cafe to work at. Everybody is just there drinking coffee and chatting with their friends, or just sitting with themselves and reading a book. So it would be, I think, something weird to be working in a cafe. Whereas now when I walk around like Palermo or Villa Crespo, it's like I see people co-working in cafe spaces, and it's interesting. You can tell like there's the movement has definitely come to Buenos Aires, and it's changed a little bit of the culture, I think, as well.
What is the most favorite your experience in Buenos Aires?
My favorite experience, so I lived here for a few months when I was studying here, and my favorite thing I did the whole time was Bomba de Tiempo. Which we actually went to a couple days ago.
This is the best.
It was the best, right?
It was the best.
It was my favorite thing I did here when I lived here in 2016, and we went a few days ago, and it was even more fun than I remember it being. So that's like really saying something, I think. And if I was living here, I'd probably go as often as I could.
I would go every Monday.
Every Monday.
They've been doing it for 18 years. 18 years. There are no young people on the stage, only above 35 and older, and they still have this fire in their blood. That usually when people are doing something longer than 10 years, they are losing this energy, but they are still keeping this so vibrant. It's like so much energy coming from the stage. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe walking, especially closer to midnight?
Yeah, I think it depends on the neighborhood. I typically, maybe, how do I say this? I think I feel safer in situations that other people might not. Call it stubbornness or confidence. But typically, I feel pretty safe walking around. There's some situations where if the walk is over 15 minutes, then I usually try to make a judgment call of whether it's better to just take a taxi. And I think in every situation, you should always trust your gut. If you're walking at night, whether if it's by yourself or with another person, I would always just try not to draw attention to yourself. And I would give this advice for literally any city, but especially when you're in a non-English speaking area, you don't want to be speaking English super loudly. You don't want to put a target on your back that says like, hey, I'm a tourist.
Do you feel difficulty that you have to build relationships and then to say goodbye to people, and then build relationships again and again and again, and explain what you're doing over and over and over and over and over again?
I think this goes back to your question earlier of like, do I like interacting with nomads? I think I prefer interacting with nomads over just short-term travelers, like vacationers. And when I travel, I like to stay in hostels a lot, so I come across more kind of short-term travelers than I do nomads occasionally. And the conversations you're having are so much different every time. Like when I'm talking to somebody who's on vacation, they're just like, where are you going next? What do you recommend doing here? And it's a bit more shallow. Whereas when you're talking with nomads, I feel like we just cut straight through the bullshit and we're like, you know, let's like actually have a conversation and like, what are you passionate about? What do you do? And so, because it feels more like a lifestyle than a temporary thing that you're doing. So when you say goodbye to a nomad, I think it's like, it hurts a bit more than a fellow traveler because you kind of know from the get-go that this is a short-term lifestyle for them. This isn't really something that they're going to replicate as often as like your nomadic friends are. At the same time, saying goodbye to nomads, it's never really goodbye, I found. It's more see you later, because I have ran into the same people over and over again, all over the world, and it's bonkers. Like, you're just like, the world really is, it's so big, but it is all at the same time, it's so small. And it's the nomad community, like you see repeat offenders, like especially like in co-livings, you'll see the same people, like, or I feel like in the nomad community, it's always like 1 or 2 degrees of separation. Like maybe I don't know you directly, but we both know a mutual connection, so we can connect to each other in that way.
Mountain or sea?
Mountain.
City or village?
Village.
Big group of people or one-on-one?
Ooh. If I like the person, one-on-one.
Hostel or expensive five-star hotel?
Oh, hostel for sure. You know me.
Plane or train?
Train.
Car or bicycle?
Ooh. If it's anything under 2 hours, bicycle.
Public transport or Uber?
Public transport. We're very different for that one.
Yes. I want to ask you about the income streams. I believe that all the nomads are trying to use different methods and where we can make money from, so it's not all the eggs in one basket.
Right, yeah, and that's the way to do it, I think. So my main gig is content creation, and I make money from content creation in different ways. So I have like the paid partnerships and brand promotions, which we mentioned earlier. I also do affiliate marketing for more high ticket items like insurance and phone plans, like stuff like that. As well as I wrote like a little ebook on different ways that you can make money while traveling, actually. So I make money from selling digital products. And then also this year I started leading group trips to different places. So I did a group trip to India and one to Pakistan. And so I made money from that. And now, because of my experience with those 2 places, I'm actually starting my own travel agency. So I'm not yet making money from that, but in the future, once I launch my first trips in 2025, I think that'll be kind of my main thing, you know, and then maybe content creation will become almost a hobby at that point, and my travel agency becomes my full-time gig.
Serious conversation is happening here. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. Welcome to our city.
Thank you very much. I feel very welcomed in your city. Mauro is taking care of the program NomadsBA that's powered by Visit Buenos Aires, and he is doing a massive job to invite and welcome digital nomads into the big city, Buenos Aires.
Visit Buenos Aires is an agency created for promoting the different segments of tourism in the city. It's an agency that is financed by the city local tax that foreigners have to pay per night when they are in Buenos Aires. It's like $1. And with this money, we finance the actions in a more sustainable way.
Now we know where these taxes are going.
Exactly.
That's a very good way of spending such a tax.
Thank you. Now what we are most focused is in promotion of the city and awareness of the city as a digital nomad destination through different actions. participating in fairs and conferences, like for example Running Remote, and we are now participating in Nomad World, and also doing some awareness with influencers and opinion leaders.
Like us.
Exactly.
So I'm in Buenos Aires and I want to have time to go in other areas. Where would you recommend me to go? Like maybe a path for me, that other places I can explore.
Okay.
And then maybe come back to Buenos Aires and fly back to Europe from here.
I will visit the smaller towns that you have nearby the city of Buenos Aires, which are in the Buenos Aires province. For example, San Antonio de Areco, Exaltación de la Cruz. You can even go to Ramallo, which is in the shore of the Paraná River. Those small towns, they offer you nice accommodation spots, and you are in contact with the nature because they are cities and towns not bigger than 100,000 people.
I and other 2 people were invited to Buenos Aires within the program of Instatour. Can you tell me more about this campaign and why you actually organizing it, and what is your goals behind this activity?
Well, the main idea, the main concept is to make you experience in a week, which is, I know, a lot and intense. Yeah. The key aspects that the digital nomad might live in the city and connect you with the ecosystem that we create from NomadsBA. And it means accommodation, it means co-works, and also means experiences, and also local community, because we know that lately there has been an atomization of local communities, so there is no big one that gathers a lot of people. There are really a lot of them, but they are quite strong. This idea was to get you in contact with, make you live what we think a digital nomad might live, of course, in a week, not in 1 month, but a mix between touristic activities, daily life, for example, using the transportation of Buenos Aires, get different types of movement around the city, try different restaurants, different type of meat, appreciate the variety of the culture that we have. And we brought you because we think that you are an opinion leader. So in this, we know there is a difference between an influencer, like a regular influencer with a bunch of followers in social media and doing things, and also people who are talking about the future of digital nomadism, contributing to the discussion of what is digital nomadism and how destinations have behaved, or which destinations should I promote, or which destinations are doing things for attracting digital nomads, or at least to speak the language, no? And I really believe that there is a big possibility and a big chance for cooperation and for collaborating.
Yes.
It's easier.
We support collaboration and not competition.
Thank you very much.
I am happy to share my own perspective on this city, Buenos Aires, if it's really good for digital nomads or not. So a couple of facts. The city is massive. Feels 20 cities in one city. So it really depends on which area you choose for living, and your experience will be completely different. The most popular area is Palermo. It reminds me a little bit California, it's a little bit New York to me, and Barcelona. It's feel really trendy, with a lot of coffee shops and restaurants and designers shopping, which is amazing. And as well, people are very, very friendly here. They are trying above and beyond to help you out and show you this city from their best perspective. As well, there is a really fast internet, which is really better, and affordable accommodation right now that you can find, I think, from $1,900 until, never ends. It depends on your taste. And I think there are a lot of vibe and outside life There are always somewhere to dance, going on the concerts, different culture events, music on the streets, dancing on the streets. I think it's a place where you can never be bored and you will find so many activities to do here. We found out also there are some communities happening. I would say there is not the strongest place with the strongest digital nomad community, but people who are working hard on bringing people together. They're trying to bring people, expats, digital nomads, and locals in one place, because locals can share you what the best about the city, and digital nomads can bring best skills to share with the locals. But overall, the country, unfortunately, same as maybe where I'm from, Ukraine, has not the strongest and not most stable economy, and that you can see in currency exchange, which is changing situations every day. People cannot plan anything longer than 1 month because things are changing every day. People can lose business here very easily. So, and that makes them moving really fast and trying above and beyond to do exactly today, because it's very hard to plan anything further than the short period of time. And that's what makes them amazing, because they are such a people with a lot of energy from inside, because they know they have to leave and do the best there, what it takes for today. So I do feel really, really good in this city, especially from people that around me. I do like this city. It reminds me of my home, and I could stay here a little bit longer.